Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and you know exactly what time it is. So before we get into it, I just want to make a bit of an announcement. Unfortunately, I have some health issues going on with me, and long story short here, in about a couple of weeks, I'm going to be going through some surgery, so I am probably going to be on my butt for at least a few days, and honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be up for even building, let alone reviewing or unboxing anything during the 2 weeks that follows the surgery. So that's basically at the beginning of January when I'll be going through my surgery. But nonetheless, I'm going to try to pound out as many unboxings and reviews at least beforehand, so I can maybe upload some if I have it in me. It's going to be the still the regular schedule of 1 or 2 videos a week until again the top of the month, or dare I say next year. So again, I just wanted to mention that now. So God forbid if I am not up to any more content creating until I recover. You guys know, I'm not dead or I didn't abandon my channel or nothing. No, it's just again, health issues, life, that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get on into it. So starting out here, we have the signature box in a box, and you know exactly what that means. Peep the box here. You know exactly what is going to be inside this one. So, first and foremost, I just want to say that when this movie first came out, I believe it was in theaters. It could have been on Toonami late at night or what have you. But I really just love the Metal Cooler movie here. I mean, I just love Cooler in general. The first time he showed up, so him coming back and his awesome silver foil was just incredible. And as soon as I seen this thing up on Pete Bandai, I mean, I just instantly bought this thing. I don't know what else to say. One, I was shocked that they actually did this, and two, just the color scheme of this thing is just like glorious. Like you can just tell just by looking at this on a video, it's just so shiny and radiant. Like this thing is super expensive, I'm sure. There's no doubt about that just by looking at this thing. But oh man, I just am really excited to go ahead and get this thing out of the box here and take a look at it. And I can already confirm to you guys, I will 100% be reviewing this thing immediately following this unboxing. So expect to see this sometime Friday or Saturday. I'm trying not to do the Sunday reviews. A lot of those are more so just circumstances and whatnot. Because again, I mentioned earlier my surgery and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff I was doing all month, including family stuff. So yeah, I couldn't really catch a break with that kind of stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and stop it here for a second so I can get this thing opened up and we can show off the little inserts of this thing. So taking a look at the little manifest here. This is strangely something I've only seen done with the convention exclusive stuff here, with the actual little sheet explaining how to assemble this thing and whatnot, the different parts. So it honestly kind of gives it a bit more of a premium feel rather than having the stuff on the side of the box. But as you can see here, there are a lot of cool interchangeable parts here that mimic when Cooler's body got partially destroyed and just replicate, well, not even replicate, repaired itself and really demoralized Vegeta and Goku before they end up fighting an army of them, like you see in the insert there at the back of the box. However, like I say all the time with these unboxings here, if it's an SH Figure Arts, I am not going to actually take everything out the box because this is a figure, not an action, sorry, not a model kit. So as a result, me just showing off all the parts and whatnot kind of undermines the review a little bit. So that is going to be it for a little sneak peek at this guy. Like I said, we will be reviewing him shortly. Now on to the next part of this unboxing. Next up, and if you guys didn't know by now, this is all P Bandai stuff I'm looking at. But we're going to actually be taking a little look at this little insert here. So this is going to be another Tamashii Nations thing here. Gundam Age FX. Now, I actually haven't seen Gundam Age yet. I'm guilty of having like the whole box set for them, but I never got going ahead and watched them. But hey, on the bright side, I'll be able to do that very soon here. I already look at the same insert. I don't know why they haven't changed this yet. None of these are even up on PBed anymore, if I'm not mistaken. But moving on. This is what we have going on inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out. Push that to the side. And voila, we have Fred Ribber's custom Pixie Gundam. Or Gundam Pixie. So this is going to be from Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story Missing Lake No idea what that is. All I know is this thing looks super cool, so I went ahead and bought it. I usually don't get anything that I don't actually recognize from like the movies or the shows or what have you, but again, this thing just looks so cool. I just had to, so I went ahead and broke my rule here, and I went on ahead and picked this thing up. It's a high grade. It was only about 20 bucks, so I didn't regret it at all. And hopefully when I build and review this thing, that sentiment stays. So getting straight into the box here, you have the typical setup for, well, any model kit really. Plate here showcasing the stickers. First and foremost, this is a C1 plate. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this, since it's a P-Band exclusive, that is, if it was based off of maybe a normal Pixie or not, since this thing is the Fred Ribber Custom. But regardless, we'll find out what parts are left over when we get to the end of this thing here. So right now, I can definitely say this thing has pretty good color separation. Various grays, light grays, and even some white thrown in there. And I just cannot wait to get this thing all built and see how does the finished package look. Now, this is another thing I love to see right here. There's just a assortment of beam accessory parts for this thing. This is something Tamashii Nation does with their Gundam products. So I'm glad to see it's finally starting to spill over to the bread and butter for Bandai, and that is the Gunpla. So please, Bandai, please give us more accessories like this for your Gunpla. Trust me, everyone will love it, and it will pay off in the end. So, of course, this is being a modern high grade. You get maybe 4 bags with maybe 6 runners tops in them. So it's going to be a very quick, easy build, I imagine. And we're going to go ahead and look at the instructions here. So typical P-Bandai fashion, just a bare bones menu. No gimmicks or anything like that. You just get how to build this thing, no more, no less. And one thing that's always super annoying these menus is the layout of what part of the menu is supposed to start first. So going into it, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Just a few polycaps here and there, not too much. So I imagine this thing will be pretty stable. Again, just a pretty simple, straightforward build. Something you'll definitely be able to bang out maybe a couple hours tops, depending on how fast and efficient you are with your Gunpla. So this is definitely going to be something I'm going to go ahead and knock out first. This is going to be easy. And again, I'm really interested to see how this thing goes. I just love the setup this thing has with the daggers and the little submachine guns. And very reminiscent of the Gundam ground type at that too. So on to the next one. Now finally, we have a very, very big box here. Okay, maybe not that big. Some of those variants may have been a little unnecessary. But still, I can't understate how big this box is compared to the others. And you've seen that off in the beginning, so I'm sure you're all curious about what this is. So, let's not keep you guys waiting. We have the Master Raid Geara Doga Regin Snyder Custom. So first and foremost, I don't believe I mentioned this earlier, so I will now. This kit came out in 2013. I'm sure around the same time the standard Geara Doga Master Raid came out. A little look around the box, nothing special there, but decided I'd do it anyway. So, look at the first plate of runners here. Just has some standard stickers and sticker style decals, some grays for the inner frames. Nothing too over the top here. Next frame, we have this navy blue color scheme, which is reminiscent that of the Titans, but of course this is a Neo Zeon mobile suit. Looks like a lot of plates here, grays for some of the Under Armour and whatnot. Some big vibrant effect parts for the beam sword axe. Looks like some reds, most likely for the Sturmfaust, and again some more other parts for color parts too. Okay. Guessing those for the visors and whatnot, maybe some scopes. We'll see when we get this thing built. I believe this is a different shade of blue here as well, so looks like a bit of two-tone going on here. So we'll see how that looks. And we have this brown rubbery material here for the tubes all around the suit here, which I love to see. Far cry from the 2.0 with the rubberish tubes. And I'm sure this is going to make that building process on those tubes a lot easier than the Zaku 2.0 and some orangish reddish color that looks like for the thrusters. So more of that navy blue and various colors of blue, what have you here. It looks like these are going to be for the shields, more parts around the armor and head. I'm going to assume this thing's probably going to have a grunt and a commander type, but you know which one I'm going to use. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the manual. So getting going into it, in typical P-Bandai fashion here, you have the little instruction sheets on what you have that's different from the standard versus the P-Bender release, and also not a surprise at all. This uses nothing unique at all. It's literally the Geara Doga but colored in blue. So yeah, get what you get. You get what you pay for, I suppose. Although maybe the pilot figure might be a little different. I think it looks a little bit more skinnier and feminine. But of course, you have the standard Master Grade Geara Doga manual here, which has some nice history showing the Zaku, their first production mobile suit, followed by the Geara Doga here, the Jacket Doga, Sazabi, and the Gearazilla, I believe that showed over there. So very cool. Everything is in Japanese though, so I do not expect to be able to read all that. So get your translators ready. Hopefully I showed off enough of that where you can translate it. If not, I apologize. So getting on into the menu itself, nothing too fancy, nothing we haven't seen before. So the instruction is going to be pretty clear as to what you're supposed to do. If you have a decent amount of experience with model kits, you even be able to tackle something like this down. That's one of the good things about more modern master grades. They are a bit more complicated and tedious to build compared to a high grade, but they're still easy enough to where if you've done any kind of modeling before, you should be able to knock it out, especially if you're slow, patient, and pay attention to instructions. So I've heard great things about the Geara Doga, and honestly, overall, a lot of the grunts from the Char's counterattacks are great. Now, if you get onto the more ace suits, it's different. But moving on to the little documentary page, it's just basically saying that they did a diversion so they could acquire access and then crash to the earth. And then some of the troops rebelled against them at the end to help push it back. Some other kits in the line here. Surprisingly, we have the Verka next to the other standard releases of the Massacres from nearly 2 decades ago. So get those at your own risk. I'd recommend getting the more newer releases for the star suits, such as Sazabi and New Gundam. Now we just have the finishing touches here of the Master Grade. Very intricate to build there on the feet. So, and her legs too, actually. So I can't wait to get this thing all built, see what it looks like. When will I get this thing built? Maybe I might push this a little bit on top of my list. We shall see. You know, it depends on what I end up doing when I look through my vast pile of gunpla and decide what I want to tackle next. As like I said, I more so want to do that Pixie smaller, get that banged out like a day. Seems like an overall good idea, whereas a Masquerade, it's going to take me at least a few days to do these, depending on how I feel when I'm building it. So this is stuff I love to see, just comparing this to my high-grade Geara Doga. A lot of stuff here looks very familiar, like the backpack construction, and one thing I can say I'm very disappointed on is the fact that it appears to use 2 axes, a long and a short, for the effects on whether you end up doing the sword or the axe. This thing is older kit, so I use the 2.0 style hands. It is not the modern bracket hands that you see now. And I actually missed something here. This page folds out. There we go. So that's the instructions going to be on for the rifle or rifles. Looks like this thing comes with 2, and then the shield. So that's pretty cool. Stern falls, of course. Again, the construction, that looks very similar to the high grade. So that's something Bandai always seems to do. They, for the most part, have this, if it's not broken, don't fix it mentality. And the construction of some of the things would be the same as a high grade. But, of course, the more detailed master grade fashion. And speaking of detail, check out that little box art there. So that is going to be it for the MG Geara Doga. And that is going to be it for this here unboxing. So I already stated early on, but I'm going to state it one more time. I'm going to be getting a review out for this guy Friday or Saturday because it's a figure and won't take much for me to do. I am seriously considering going ahead and building a Pixie ASAP as it's a high grade, and this is something that can get done in a day's time. Whereas the Geara Doga, this is of course a master grade. It's going to be a bit more of a project. So I may or may not move this thing up my list. We'll see. There are a few things ahead of this thing I kind of want to bang out first. So when I'm done with those, we'll see how I feel about this. But as per standard with these unboxings, I thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video.